you're telling me that you actually think about the profitability of your menu and your items,
Okay.
and then actually train the people that are selling it to sell those items more.
Revolutionary, isn't it?
This episode is brought to you by Halcyon Eco.
Peter, as a lawyer, I see so often customers come to me with issues that really all stem around employee safety. It always seems to me to go back to the fryer. Burn injuries, slip and falls, all sorts of issues that all relate back to the fryer. How can Halcyon eliminate some of those injuries?
As you said there, Brian, it can be traced back to the fryer. 80% of injuries in the kitchen are traced back to that fryer through burns, through flash points, through spillages, through slips. There's an unending list of dangerous activities that go on around that fryer. What other industry would allow us to stand over a 300-degree fryer and fry fries? It doesn't exist yet. It's acceptable within this industry. So what we looked at was the transportation of the bad oil. How they disposed of it. So we made sure that it was a gravity-fed system and it was a completely locked system. You fill your fryer, you fill the oil filtration up with your dirty oil, you lock it down. Now there's no spillage, it can't hurt anybody, it can't go near anyone. The oil filtration has a heat skin on it so it doesn't get hot. So there is absolutely no way that person can hurt themselves, they can't spill the oil, there's no slippages. They then wheel the machine out to their disposal, they switch the machine on, and the machine automatically empties the hot oil and the waste oil directly into the waste facility. So when you bring that back to its core, we've looked at everything from your slips, your carrying of hot oil, you're burning yourself. They're all gone, so much so that it now sits right within the health and safety aspect of the federal government aid, and you can get a 40% deductible in year one on the cost of the machine.
I love your system and how well it's engineered, but I call it the bucketless system. There's 0 buckets involved in this. The oil is all self-contained inside the unit, and your staff will love it. It's amazing. It's so cool. And if you want to find out more, check it out on Restauranttopia.com.
This is Restauranttopia.
Welcome back to Restauranttopia. Got Anthony Hamilton over there. How you doing, sexy?
Hey, whoa.
Hey,
I like this
There we go.
intro, yeah.
Right.
Brian Seitz, what's going on?
Yeah, doing good.
Myself, Dave Ross, here back talking about the restaurant industry. And before we get into Anthony's episode, I want to talk about Restauranttopia and what we can do for you.
Okay.
If you're out there listening in the restaurant industry, you have a product, you have a service, you have something that fits into the industry we're discussing, Restauranttopia is taking sponsorships.
All right.
Finally, we're
like
here,
this.
guys. We're here.
Wow.
Let's go.
So if you're out there and
Excited.
you're targeting restaurant operators or you're targeting restaurant people with whatever product or service you have, obviously, we got to make sure it's the best in class.
Yeah, can I throw in a little
Yeah,
pitch
absolutely,
here?
please.
Okay. If your product or service is not good, predatory, or I just don't like it, it's not gonna we're not gonna have you on.
Yeah, and we will not be responding.
Yeah. So don't
But if you have a genuine business
Or how about-
and you have something that's advantageous and can be appreciated by the restaurant industry, we'd be happy to get that out there into our universe and in our audience.
we are not taking any merchant cash advance sponsorship.
I was just going to bring that up.
I mean, that just letting you know, just putting it out there, just in case anyone is listening. Like, no, then we're not doing that.
We'd love to hear your pitch, but we may not respond.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. So let's get into the episode.
Yeah,
Anthony,
for sure, man.
We got
Super excited.
Surviving the Squeeze today.
Yeah, surviving the squeeze. So we're in another record year, fellas, which is fantastic. We always love record years in the industry, right?
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, these records are for labor costs and food costs, as you know. Womp, womp, womp.
What should my prime cost be now? Like, I feel like it started as such a manageable number, and now it's like,
My
wow,
man.
you're like,
I can just tell you in my personal experience growing up, 60 was the number. Anything under 60 was good.
you could have that tattooed on your arm.
It could. I'm glad I didn't because it would have been crossed out and it would have been 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a real, and that's not for every operator, but I can tell you, just again, I'm pretty dialed in, pretty active in operations, and decent at it. Getting below 70 makes me smile.
Yeah.
I know for some people that's preposterous. Probably they do. It depends what your alcohol mix is or what your product mix is.
No.
But in the family restaurant with a well-rounded menu, man, if you're doing under 70%, like I feel pretty good. and then you just hope your sales are high enough to squash your fixed expenses so you can draw some profit out of it.
Yeah. So
it's a reality.
I don't want to get in the weeds here, but I just want to ask this. So the concept that you're thinking about and discussing was 60 how long ago, and is now 70?
I would say 2018, 2019, 60 was the benchmark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will say this as again, because I love the numbers and I'm constantly helping customers out. We're talking fully weighted prime cost with all labor, including taxes and everything.
Yeah, not just a takeout pizza shop that has 20% food cost items. Like you're talking a full-fledged menu, service staff, everything else.
And we're talking on cost of goods sold. I'm including, I'm not trying to play any games with the COGS of,
Pull out disposables,
paper products and those sorts of things. I'm putting those in there. But
well, sure, just like you would with labor, it's not your in-store labor, it's your payroll labor. It's because you got to include taxes, benefits, and everything else in there too. We're talking all in prime costs here, right?
But it's still, you just ate most of the pie. You have 30% left. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it just got real.
Yeah, I don't think we need to tell anybody. If you're living in operations, especially from an ownership standpoint, you're feeling the pain on this. There's no question. And so that's one of the things I just wanted to talk about, being up against that, and what some things I'm seeing in the industry that are helping people out. And a little bit it's counterintuitive, but it's what you need to do. We're talking not even just higher labor and food here, though, too. Refrigeration repair, contracting for renovations, plumbing, electricity, all of it. Your security system.
Backflow testing,
backflow testing. Yeah, the fire. I'm on my third fire company in the last 3 months, just so you know. Yeah.
Because they're expensive? Because service? Like, why?
I won't name the company, but it's the one company did a bunch of work without approval and invoiced all at the end of the year, which was awesome. You don't know they're in there because they're getting approval from dishwashers. And then another company vetted and flirted with 3 months in and agreed. First call, you pay a service fee monthly, then you paid for a service call, and then you paid for hourly labor, and then the monthly fee is an inspection, and then you paid for a comprehensive inspection on top of that, and then individual inspections for every piece of equipment, and then they were upcharging their wares somewhere around 1,000%. So they did one service call. I booted them too.
Yeah, so
that's extortion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's
or exploitation, I should say.
It's egregious.
Yeah.
I want off the air. I want to talk to you about this.
Okay, great. Yeah,
it's super interesting to me because it goes into an episode I have planned in the future, the secret cost killers in your kitchen and beyond. But
for sure.
But I am doing some audits on this and to see if we can put out maybe to some VIP members a best practices.
For sure.
So if that's something that you're interested in, ping me on my email. I'd love to, hear what customers think and if this could be a value add, because I think to veterans, historically there's been, and I'm not trying to hijack this episode, but there's been an understanding of what stuff costs. Post COVID, we have such an inflationary environment. No one knows off the top of their head now what anything costs.
Yeah,
like
sure.
what a case of chicken wings cost today versus 2 weeks ago versus 3 years ago to a year from now. It could be, we're seeing the market come down, but like, what is that?
And those are the things we know about.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the things we're experts in. Think about your plumber telling you got to rip up a floor to replace the main line because you have a 3-inch supply line instead of a 4-inch supply line. It's like, do you want some wings? Like that's what I know about. Or you're talking about
just fire suppression, like anything that can, we go back to the prime cost example, anything that can just eat up that 30%.
It's easy to do.
It's easy.
It's super easy.
And you have no wiggle room for mistakes. That's why I love our listeners who are students of the game and love Restauranttopia. And that's why I love learning.
That's why I'm calling it the squeeze, man, because you're getting squeezed at every angle, no matter where you are. And then you see things happen like, well, this happened at a governmental level, and it's revolved around chicken. The next thing you know, you get an email about beef prices raised up for something similar. It's like, wait, did that happen to the beef market, or are they just riding a wave here? Because I'm pretty sure they're just throwing their hat in the ring and saying, we need some revenue too, right? So anyway, I digress. You also got to contend with third-party delivery fees, which we know they're compatible, but they're still there, and they change. The technology companies change so drastically, which blows my mind. It's every day they toggle a switch, and it changes your dynamic. So you got to be a student of that. Let's not forget hyperactive reviewers online too. You're up against them. One misstep, and you're getting crucified, right? And that affects your business levels. So it's almost like every angle you're getting squeezed from, and regulatory pressures too. Just got a notification not long ago that we had to put an escape door or an exit door on our patio that's existed for 9 years. The fire department has inspected this patio every year for 9 years. And just this year, they decided, you know what? I'd really like to see a door there. So you got 30 days.
Oh, on a patio?
Yeah. It's an enclosed patio, right? Well, so you can open it up, garage doors and stuff. Yeah. But there was no exit door when the garage doors were closed. They just now had this epiphany 9 years in, $3,500. Boom, just like that.
You should put like a slide or something where you have to go up the stairs.
That'd be
like,
awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean,
but these are the
what kind of door?
But I'm telling you, this is real. You know, this is all jokes aside. This happened. The check was written. The door was put in. You know, like it's crazy to me.
Only our listeners will really understand what it's like to be having a good month, and then some governmental agency just $2,000, $5,000 with you for a profit.
Yeah. And you see it in acquisitions probably where it's like you have this mom and pop that's grandfathered in with the health department. Yeah. The minute you have an ownership change, all of a sudden you go in there and the health department's like, you know what, you need a 3-compartment sink.
Yeah, where's Joe at? Oh, I bought the business.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Well, you need a 3-compartment sink. You need to do this, you do that. It's like, wait, why didn't he have to do this for 20 years? I don't know.
Well, you didn't feed me when I came in here, so we got a problem.
That's exactly right.
You're not allowed to do that.
So I think we've established like what we're up against. We all agree that it's not an easy time to run restaurants, right? It's never been easy, but now it's like we're doubling down on the difficulty. Yep. That's why I love restaurant folks, though. They're the most resilient damn people, dude. No, and they're stubborn. Yep. Like, who signs up to do business like this, right? Like,
no, it's
passion.
You got to have a passion and love for hospitality because it is not your grandpa's restaurant.
It's a hard way to make money, but I still think all the bitching aside, it's incredibly fulfilling, right? And that's what it comes down to. There's a certain magic about this industry that I think everybody here in this room and everybody listening understands. So we tolerate all this. But anyway, how to battle it, what I've seen best practices. The one thing that, and this is again, a talk about counterintuitivity, part of the reason is we always want to try to save our way to wealth, don't we?
Yeah.
Expenses go up, but I'm going to tell you to double down on quality. I'm telling you to spend more on your products. Yeah. And reason being why?
You're going to retain the customer. You can do the death spiral of, and again, it always goes back to prime cost. And again, I'm as big of an advocate as anyone of focusing in on your prime costs. The moment you start cutting quality and the moment you start cutting labor, it's going to affect how things are for your customer, and that's going to affect the way they come back to your restaurant, if at all.
It's almost like we're on the same page.
Yeah, and also I feel that you're out there competing too. So when the natural tendency is to do that, shrink back. If you are to push forward, you're going to pop out of the of the woodwork, and the consumer is going to notice you more than they're going to.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Grant Cardone fan. Yeah. I think he's fine. He's obviously an insightful guy. I just think he's a pompous ass. But you gave me a book a long time ago about that. And the one thing he said in that book that I can never, ever ignore, he said, when everybody else is contracting, double down. Be aggressive. Get out there. And I'd never lose sight of that because it's like that's how you stand out in a crowd, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going this way, you're going that way, especially when it comes to quality of service and food because now you're standing above. But Brian, to your point, you're studying prime costs, you're studying the game, you're looking at things, you're addicted to the numbers. Everything's about getting below that 70%, 60%, whatever your prime cost is, your goal. You lose sight of what the experience is because you're so just only looking at the numbers. You're not looking at guest satisfaction, repeat business, or any of the theoretical or ideological stuff that we have to bank on as operators too. Data's only half the battle, right?
I agree.
So, again, focus on quality, and the segue into that, sales fix everything. Your focus as an operator should not be saving money. It should be driving revenue somehow, some way. Yep. Easier said than done, boys. Easier said than done. Yep. There's only so much market share, and there's more restaurants all the time for some reason.
Yeah, I think the mistake that operators make, and maybe I'm doubling down on my point from earlier, but is they try to say, all right, I'm going to get cheaper chicken wings to lower my prime cost instead of keeping the quality on the chicken wings and then look at some other aspect of your operation to cut costs that doesn't include labor and food.
Yeah. So a personal focus of ours and our organization is the four walls marketing, right? Yep. So if we've established that you're going to increase quality of service and quality of food, which is brave, money's tight, now you're going to invest, which is wild, but I think it's a great time to do it. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to me to get out of a hole. Yeah. So you got to dig down deep, get those cash reserves and put it towards it. So great food, great service, right? We increase the quality, but that four walls marketing, what are we doing table side to win the audition. And I think we talked about this with Chip Close a little bit. I'm a firm believer that every guest that comes in your door, first of all, you should be incredibly lucky that they chose you of all the restaurants.
Yep.
They have a limited amount of money. They drove by your location, or they set out to your location, pulled in, and walked through the door. What are we doing with that now? How many servers, operators take that for granted?
Right.
All of them, right?
All the time. Yeah.
And so it's a rally cry of mine. Like, it's not a sea of gray faces, as Mike Tomlin would say.
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell they're celebrating? Who knows why they're there?
Yes.
But damn it, be grateful they came in and sat down.
And be excited that, you have people in your restaurant. Like, don't take them for granted. And again, it goes back to hospitality. So if you move forward with the basis of providing world-class hospitality and amazing service, I think you're going to beat out most people.
I don't think it has to be more difficult than great food and great service.
Yeah.
If we distill it down, that's really what it comes down to. We'll tolerate bad decor. We'll tolerate a lot of bad stuff if you have amazing, impeccable food and service. We all have that place. We know we ignore the pink eye in the bathroom, as you would say, right? Because the food and service are so good, or the vibe is so good. So with the four walls marketing, it's not only important to win that audition, meaning to just delight them with hospitality. Also, too, what are you promoting? Because you got a captive audience that's interested in you. You have a bourbon tasting or a wine dinner or some sort of event, and you're blasting it all over social media. You might catch some people who are interested, but the people sitting down in your restaurant are already your people.
Yeah.
Those are the people you should be marketing to, right?
Well, 100%.
They're there.
And you can give them a discount, or you can, comp, hey, if I know you guys all come in here all the time, can I comp you on this? And give them that elevated experience so they come back and show that customer love, that customer appreciation.
100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of time in restaurant marketing, like I remember there was this really handsome guy with really smart, great hair used to say, like, you've got this restaurant full
I guess
of people,
we're out.
Yeah.
and the owner's looking out down the sidewalk going like, hey, come on in, everybody, and everybody's behind them, you know what I mean? So like everybody looks at marketing as like, okay, this is this outbound thing that I'm trying to, you still need to market to that audience with, like you said, the four walls marketing. I think it's beautiful.
You got to do both, right?
No, you do. But when you've got the people in there, like, you can't neglect them for the ones that aren't.
No, and as he would say too, give them an opportunity to spend.
Yes,
they love being told what to do. His words, and it's true. If you're doing what you need to do with your staff, they will helpfully upsell that drink. But it's not enough, as we've talked about. Hey, would you like to try our special cocktail tonight? It's, hey, have you guys tried this like spicy, salty margarita that we have? Holy shit, is it good?
Do you like lavender? It has lavender in it. It's amazing.
Exactly. So the verbiage there is, it's free, it's easy to coach. You just got to make sure your service staff's doing it right. So all good stuff there. So we love raising revenue. Again, we talked a little bit earlier about how it can shrink your fixed expenses. So where maybe at certain sales thresholds, you're not profitable at 70% prime cost, but if you can raise your revenue that extra 2 ticks, right? 3 ticks, now all of a sudden your rent's 4% instead of 6. Now all of a sudden your insurance is 3% instead of 5. Well, those percentage points go back to you. Right. So you got to think of it that way too.
That's keeping your 30%. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But and raise your revenue is it. Again, it's not easy. I mean, there's ways to go about it, which we'll talk about. But one of the ways too, and it's funny you mentioned that, fella, because I noticed a newsletter that Josh had written the other day, and I saw it, and I've actually put it in play already, is that we often look at food costs as a whole, right? And we look, oh my God, our food costs. But it's not enough just to manage food costs. What we've done is I've taken the next step to where I've run my menu mix, I've put it in menu engineering, I found out my stars. I gave my managers a hot list. There's 10 items on this hot list. These are the absolute ideal dishes for us to sell in our restaurant. These should be your favorites. These are the ones that have the high popularity, the high gross profit, the amazing food cost. These are winner chicken dinners. If you sell only these 10 items for the rest of our existence in a restaurant, we will be doubly profitable than what we were, Yeah.
You're telling me that you actually think about the profitability of your menu and your items.
Okay.
And then actually train the people that are selling it to sell those items more.
Revolutionary, isn't it?
So the server knows that this item is...
I'm being very, very sarcastic.
I understand
but
what you're being,
The server knows this item's popular, right? Okay, hold on.
So people like it.
Okay, people like it, and it's profitable. Yeah. Okay, and she doesn't have to use in response to what's good on your menu.
Listen, I was at
everything.
a restaurant.
Everything. I hate that.
Yep,
I was at a restaurant last night, and it was an okay experience. It wasn't great. It wasn't one that I'm gonna I'm not referring to anybody, but we were celebrating.
Okay.
And how would she know that we're celebrating? There just happened to be a gift bag that looked like a gift and a card sticking out of it. It was in the middle of the table, and there was 4 guys at a high top, and we're there celebrating something.
Okay.
Was a gift on the table,
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, you guys want some apps? And they're like, yeah. So we're looking, and I'm like, well, I definitely want the ceviche. And what do you think to the server? And I could not get anything out of her.
Stop.
Not even like everything's good. It was almost kind of like, and I'm like, well, what about the?
I would. You guys hungry? How about this?
I mean,
wow.
Unless you just started and it's your first day.
No.
I mean, you don't have items picked out that you're like, boom, bang, bop.
And I'm not sitting here pretending I'm in an ivory tower that
but
operationally we're perfect, but I don't care if it's your first day. You should have that canned up. Management should do a better job of training.
But do you have?
I'm only excusing it if it was your first day untrained and they just threw you out there. I'm not even saying on your first day that's acceptable.
Well,
I'm saying
in that instance, I don't blame the server. I blame the organization.
But do you have on
I still blame the organization.
Yeah. But I got you on that. But unless it's your first day of serving, like you're going to get asked that question.
Why are you on the floor? Why'd they put you on the floor? Again, I'm guilty of this.
I'm with you.
I'm not impervious here.
I'm with you, but at some point, like the individual has to take responsibility for their success as well.
50%.
No, yeah, I would say they were not set up for success.
No, of course they weren't. Of course they weren't.
But do you at your restaurant like?
Do I tip 20% there? Or what do I do?
Yeah.
But like you could literally put up in the back room like top 3 recommended appetizers. Yeah. Like they're I will put the onus again.
No,
but Dave's push for personal accountability is high, but like I will put the onus back on the restaurant and say, are you constantly training?
Guys,
are you
listen,
constantly
100%? She was not set up for success.
Yeah,
100%, and it is the operations fault. However, as an individual that's in an industry and that provides service, unless it's your first day ever working in a restaurant, you have probably been asked, "Hey, what's good?
Yes.
Hey, what should we get for appetizers? Hey," and if you, I mean. I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
And I'm not trying to make an argument out of this because we are on the same page.
You're fine.
Like, how'd we get there? I don't even know what the hell happened. We just
another way is to play the third party game, and what we've learned, and we spoke in a previous episode, is about how complex third parties become. Yeah. And so it used to be the restaurant manager could get a rep from third party, set up their standards, and just let it roll, right? But now it's become so complex and so diverse with mechanisms that we've gone as far to hire a third-party person to wedge themselves in between us and the third-party delivery companies. Yep. It's kind of like we know a little bit about it, but we don't have the time with everything else we have going on to master class it. But I know someone who's had the time, and he's been studying for 5 years, and he's really freaking good at it. And basically, he pays for himself. It's amazing.
It's also one of those things where it's not just you're learning the payroll system and it's going to be static for the next 5 years.
Moving target.
It's a moving target. So you constantly have to be educating yourself and figuring this out. So I'm not a big person on consultants, but I know this group that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I think I may have even introduced them to you.
Yep.
That is absolutely valuable as a mechanism to attack third-party delivery as a blue ocean and a fertile ground to generate revenue and to capture revenue that you're missing. But like it's like trying to do your own website or hire someone to do your own website. It's that complex now.
Correct. Yeah, there's just so many games. And again, if the rate's right, then it makes sense. There's ROI there. And then it's a headache we don't have to worry about. We have this trusted individual that's reporting back data. We're seeing the proof in the pudding, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it goes back to your point. Like, could you learn how to build a website? Yeah, you could. Of
course.
Yeah.
You could. But if your bandwidth is probably better suited for other things.
Why? Again, Josh keeps coming up. Why make your weaknesses into strengths? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why not pay someone to do that and double down on your strengths? Yep. And that's what I've predicating this on, because of course it's not calculus. It is difficult. It really takes time, to your point, because it's always moving. So you have to invest the time to understand what's going on today in this world. Yep. You sleep a week and you lost $5,000, right?
Boom.
Another thing too that we're experimenting with, and I think it's worked out really well thus far, and we talked about these a lot during the pandemic, was ghost kitchens. And so you have a family concept that's maybe like you've reached your saturation point in your market share in this local economy. No matter what you do, you can't get over a certain threshold, but if you get over that, maybe even it's $1,000, $2,000 more dollars a week changes the dynamic of your prime cost drastically, say on 25, 30K in sales. It's a huge increase. So ghost kitchens are becoming more and more popular. I've run into 3 operators this week that are now running different variations of ghost kitchens and having success with them. Again, not to the tune of $500,000 a year, but $100,000 a year, sometimes the difference between good profitability and bad profitability.
Well, but if you're doing another 2,000 in a ghost kitchen revenue, out of your current restaurant, like the majority of that 2,000 is probably just going right to the bottom line
with no added labor, though.
Yeah,
with no added labor,
it's more complex than that. I would.
No, it is, but I'm saying like you should, if you're doing it right, a lot of that money should hit.
I've done some consulting. Like it's tough. And again, I'm not downplaying your point. Like,
no, you're fine if you are.
For the right operation,
fight about it.
It has to come to how's your restaurant set up? Are you able to do
yes.
it? What's
yes.
the density look like?
Sure.
What's your current staffing? Is there a hole in the market? It's something, and I'm happy to discuss with any of our listeners that want to go into that. But it's not super easy. It is an avenue, like a lot of things that you can do, and I have seen some people have some success with it, though.
Yeah, again, and I think success for me is a low bar. Again, I'm at a point with a location where it's like just 1,500 in sales would make all the difference in the world. But again, it's predicated on the fact that I'm not adding additional labor. And to your point, there is a hole in the market. Mm-hmm. And to your other point, the system is set up for it already. They already do something similar.
Yeah.
And so the restaurant operator I was talking to yesterday, as a matter of fact, has a pizza shop, and he's doing a different style of pizza out his back door with a different brand and everything. It's the same same.
See, like that I like, because that's
but it dovetails in.
Yeah,
so again.
But don't try to be the hibachi place and the I don't know what's the opposite of hibachi. Like,
I have no idea.
Okay.
Tacos
and the Italian place.
Of course. No,
it's gonna be difficult.
It's a good point. I would hope that would go without saying, but you want to make it as streamlined as possible.
I guess all I want to like kind of put in there is, we're not trying to be holier than thou and say like these are absolute fixes, but like you got to put some thought into it. And
of course.
And I know you have, and that these are difficult times, and so be cautious on the move you make and how you execute on it.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to that, so we talked about sales already and increasing sales. So we could go on and on about how to increase sales, whether special events, different tastings, customer appreciation events, family days, all these things matter.
Those, yeah.
And even if you don't get the ROI that day, a lot of times, if you can make good memories at your place, you stay top of mind, right? Yep. So now we're in the ideological part of it. Also, change your needs, please. Like if you're still stuck with the same menu you were 10 years ago and the exact same line setup and the exact same labor proposition, it's time to change. The industry has done a complete renaissance, and if you haven't, you're not gonna be on board. There's exceptions, but
that is a beautiful suggestion of something you really need to do a deep dive on.
Yeah,
there are so many areas to gain efficiencies. I think most operators who have had some long-term success that are just now feeling some of the industry pressures, that's an area that you can really look at.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, do you have to have that big of a menu? Do you have to have that many staff members? Go back to the hot list we talk about. 10 items are really driving the bus for you.
I know, but I have the menus and they're 7 pages long. Like,
yeah. But Mark and Sue will be mad if I take this dish off the menu. It's like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to have it. Those are the difficult conversations you have to have.
Well, and if you're not feeling bold enough to like do a complete rehaul, at least give some other options that give, like, because there's a ton of places out there that they're very they have a great reputation and they're heavy regulars. I mean, a lot of their business is regular business. So to be able to give those people, because there's a lot more options now. So to be able to, like, whether it's just specials and features and different stuff to give them different options than just the menu. Because you could have a very robust business with the same menu as long as you're managing the cost properly and everything. But like, just give people some other stuff so that they keep that rhythm with you and they have something new.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Another thing too I've been working with a lot recently, and I don't know why I did this sooner, was weekly purchasing budgets.
Yeah,
and it seems elementary, but it was always kind of like, just check your shelves, make sure you put what's back on the shelf. But when you're having these people that are kitchen managers or chefs that are doing the ordering, they're not exactly tied to your revenue stream. They don't feel the pain of what it took to get their payroll paid, right? Like they just get the check and move on. So using scheduling software has been hugely advantageous for our organization. There's a million of them out there, but understanding what your projected sales are, staffing a schedule versus the projected sales based on this algorithm that this technology has. It's telling you based on weather, last year's sales, everything else, what you're going to do roughly in a week in sales, schedule to that, because it's a hell of a lot better than shooting in the dark and making assumptions.
Can we not order the same amount of food on a regular week that we do on the week after Thanksgiving? Like,
I mean, no one's stopping you.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you see these orders come in, and it's like, I don't think you're going to do that kind of business this week. Like Thanksgiving was just yesterday. Like, I think someone's going to have some leftovers.
But we've had a ton of success just kind of giving our managers and saying, okay, look, this is your projected sales for the week. Yeah. On average, you do 75% food, 25% beverage. There you go. So we're going to take this number, multiply it by 75%. Then you're going to get your food sales for the week, projected food sales. And then it's like, okay, our cost of goods goal is 35%. So you're going to take that number, multiply it by 35%. Then all of a sudden, now you have a measurable objective, a target for them to work towards. Yeah. Can I tell you how much of a difference that has made, that one little formula? Oh, yeah, sure. Because now they have a target. Yeah. And now it's a sport. Can I get it done, right? And of course, you don't want to run out, but if they go over, and they'll actually email you and be like, hey, look, I went over a couple $100. This is why. Cool. Yep. No problem. Love it. And cost of goods isn't the worst one. Labor is the worst one because it's non-renewable. Yeah. Right.
So send those people home.
Well, and not only that, but once they've worked,
you can't not pay them.
Exactly.
That's true.
The chicken you might sell a couple days later, but
thank you. Yep, you got it. You got it.
It goes in the freezer.
Well, but at least you can.
Oh no, I know. You're capturing it. Like you're not.
When Sally spends one more hour on the clock that she shouldn't have. Like, you can't be like, you know what? I didn't really mean to have you scheduled there.
So this is another one where it's counterintuitive. This is actually my last point: is focus on employee well-being and prosperity. Right. Yeah. So I'm telling you to pay your employees more now, right? When we're talking about how labor is a problem, right? Pay your employees more. And why I want to do that, to get them to stay longer, to get them to be happier, to get them to good, better hospitality, more jazzed about their job, a cleaner place, a more organized place, more continuity, more consistency. That all bodes well for repeat business. And also limiting your turnover, as we know, is incredibly expensive. If you can limit your turnover, you'd be shocked about how little that $1 an hour raise means to that one employee. Yep. You know, so that one's a big one. And we've talked about culture a million times. It's not only fulfilling, it's incredibly valuable financially for you. So it's good stuff. But, you know, the thing is just try, man, because the fact is, and I heard this yesterday and I love it. And if nothing ever changes, nothing ever changes.
That's right.
That's deep.
Yeah. I thought so.
Anthony, great episode. I think you've forgotten your show notes to add the 40% tip button on the point of sale system. An homage to Dave's tip.
Brian may be wearing a different suit jacket, but it's the same recording session.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! It's like lifting back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz here.
Hey, you poked the bear.
All right, that's okay.
No, Anthony, awesome episode.
Anthony, great episode. Thanks so much.
Restauranttopia.com. And when you're on Restauranttopia.com, not only check out the show notes, but sign up for the newsletter. Fantastic newsletter that comes out bi-weekly. It gives a nice summary of the newsletter, which is great, but then also gives a ton of awesome, impactful restaurant industry information. So sign up for that. Join the thousands of people that are enjoying that on a bi-weekly basis.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.